And now it's recording as well. And now you have attendees coming in.
We have one attendee, James Menser.
Okay, we can begin, I guess.
Okay. Are we recording too? Okay, good.
It's recording. Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the September 3rd, 2020 Lebanon County's Commissioners Meeting. This meeting is being recorded and will become part of public record. Anyone wishing to comment, please use the raise hand function at the bottom of your screen. If the chairman allows, we will bring you in.
Okay, thank you. Good morning and welcome to the Board of Commissioners meeting for September 3rd, 2020. We will begin, as is customary, the observance of a moment of silence. Thank you. Please rise for the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And now we will entertain public comment. Do we have any raised hands at this point?
I don't see any.
All right, then we will proceed with the approval of the minutes, and I'll look for a motion to do that.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second the motion, Chairman.
Here we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of our previous meeting. Any comment or question or deletion or addition or correction? If not, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, so moved. Thank you. Now we'll move to our treasurer, Sally Newman.
Hey, good morning. We had receipts on September 1st and September 2nd of $6,320,502.65. That brought us to a total cash of $7,395,912.10. We had expenditures of $413,536.81. The tax claim is $67,430.89. So that leaves us a balance of $2,914,944.40.
Make a motion to approve the treasurer's report as read.
I'll second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the treasurer's report as presented. Any question or comment? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? So moved.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Sally, thank you. And we'll now move on to our HR presentation with Michelle Idris.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Michelle.
Morning. Under personnel transactions, resignations and terminations, Simon Ryder, law clerk, resignation effective September 11th. Patrick Donovan, assistant district attorney 1, resignation effective September 4th. Dana Berry, DJ clerk, resignation effective August 25th. Kimberly Bohr, DJ clerk, resignation effective August 31st. Jason Kane, full-time correctional officer, resignation effective September 3rd. James Goddard, full-time correctional officer, resignation effective August 24th. Robert Carnes, warden of the Lebanon County Correctional Facility, retirement effective February 6th, 2021. Samantha Wilson, full-time correctional officer, resignation effective September 5th. And Colleen Kohler, casual call developmental assistant, resignation effective August 2nd.
I'll make a motion to approve the resignations and terminations with special recognition to Warden Robert Carnes for his 38 years of dedicated service.
And I'll second that with the same notation.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any further comment? I would just certainly like to add to that, not only has it been 38 years, but it's been 38 years of quality service to the county in a very difficult position. And throughout his different positions, he's always done everything in the best interests of our county, and we really appreciate all his service to our county. But if there's no further discussion, we'll vote, and all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Okay.
Under leaves of absence, Christine Wolf from Area Agency on Aging, 60-day leave of absence effective August 10th with an expected return date of October 9th. Jessica Menzel from the prison, 30-day leave of absence effective August 24th with an expected return date of September 23rd.
I make a motion to approve the leaves of absence as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve those leaves. Any comment or question on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Under changes of status, transfers, and promotions, I have a motion to approve Chief Clerk of Voter Registration, Michael Anderson's recommendation for the following employees: Joellen Riley, Judy Plummer, Audrey Hauer, and Ann Dalbert within his office to work up to a maximum of 50 hours per week, all hours up to 40 per week to be paid at the employee's regular hourly wage, and all hours from 41 to 50 to be paid at time and a half, effective September 8th, 2020 through November 14th, 2020.
I'll make it. Okay, go ahead,
I was
Commissioner.
gonna say, I can yield to you, that's fine.
No, that's fine. Go ahead.
I make a motion to approve overtime status over 40 hours as presented by Michelle for the voter registration office.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve that change in the voter registration office. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? So moved.
Eden Riddle, transfer from Team Clerk and Domestic Relations to Secretary C in the Courts Department at the rate of $1,170.74 biweekly, effective September 21st. Matthew Klein, promotion from Juvenile Probation Officer 2 in Probation Services to Juvenile Probation Officer 2/Supervisor at the rate of $2,350.04 biweekly, effective September 7th. Deanna Vasquez, promotion from Assistant Public Defender 1 in the Public Defender's Office to Assistant Public Defender 2 at the rate of $2,146.48 biweekly, effective September 7th. James Holtry, transfer from casual part-time mail clerk in the mailroom to part-time door monitor in building security. No change in his rate, effective September 21st.
Make a motion to approve the transfers and promotions as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve those changes. Any questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. So moved.
Under other transactions, the District Attorney's Office would like to hire Deja Orozco Reyes as a full-time booking agent at the rate of $13.10 per hour, effective September 8th. President Judge Tillwalk would like to hire Rachel Speck as a collections officer in the Probation Services Department at the rate of $982.26 biweekly, effective September 8th. President Judge Tillwalk would like to hire Catherine Hirons as an adult probation officer in the Probation Services Department at the rate of $1,628.68 biweekly, effective September 21st. Renova would like to rehire Samantha Martin as a casual call LPN at $17 per hour, effective September 8th. And the Sheriff's Office would like to hire Joshua Heckman as a full-time deputy sheriff at the rate of $1,182.98 biweekly, effective September 21st. And I would like to note that Catherine Hirons is a rehire, not a new hire.
I'll second the motion. I make the motion. All right.
All right, I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor to approve those transactions. Any comment or question? If not, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. So moved.
Moving on to Salary Board, motion to approve all the transactions previously read plus the following. Kyra Ray's longevity payment, full-time correctional officer at the prison, one-time payment of $500, effective September 24th.
Moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the salary board requests. Any question or comment? If not, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. So moved. Thank you, Michelle.
Okay.
All right, you may go, Leanne. Thank you.
Okay. Mandated conference seminars, I have Matthew Klein and Marissa Templeton from Probation Services. Would like to attend brief intervention tools training online, September 25th, $170 total registration fee, 4 credits mandated by JCJC. And Matthew Klein for Probation Services would like to attend the LGBTQ training online, September 30th, $65 total registration fee, 2 credits mandated by JCJC.
Make a motion to approve attendance at the mandated conferences as read.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve those probation services requests for the mandated conferences. Any comment or question? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. So moved.
Thank you.
Thank you,
You're
Leanne.
welcome.
Thank you.
Got Aaron in, Karen Alonso. I think Audrey Recco. Anyone else, Aaron?
Is Sue Christner there?
Sue Christner is here. I'm logged in under Audrey.
Oh, gotcha.
Hi, Sue.
Hi.
All right. So we are here today to present our final report for fiscal year 1920, as well as our implementation budget for fiscal year 2021, our needs-based budget for fiscal year 21-22, and our fourth quarter invoices for fiscal year 1920. So first, we will do the closure of our fiscal year 1920. So we were certified at $9,124,359 with a county share of $2,127,284. However, our previous director, based on increases in services, was projecting the budget to be $9,682,069 with a county share of $2,850,063. We actually came in at $9,738,427, which is $56,358 over last year's projections. Our county share will actually be $2,683,078, which is a decrease of $166,985 under projected amounts. Children and youth was overspent in the amount of $214,328, and that was due to increases in court-ordered placements overall, but specifically, we've been placing a lot of large sibling groups. So from October 2019 to March of 2020 alone, our agency placed 39 new children, and those placements accounted for $360,000 during the remainder of the fiscal year. And in fiscal year 1920, children and youth provided placement services to 25 more children than in the previous fiscal year. And despite maximizing our Title IV-E at 113%, our Act 148 allocation was utilized sooner than anticipated due to the 80% state reimbursement for our community residential services. I will be filing an appeal and budget amendments to attempt to secure this over expenditure. I don't know if Sue or Audrey, if one of you want to speak to juvenile probation for fiscal year 1920.
Yes, this is Sue Christner. Jamie, just to let you know, I believe Judge Jones also wished to be part of this conversation, so he may actually be on.
Dawn, do you see the Jones?
No, but he was just in here about 2 minutes ago. So I think he was confused that it was online. So Anna sent him back upstairs.
Okay. If you want to take in a minute, maybe add that, Joan. Do you see the?
Oh, I do see a CT Jones now.
Yeah, go ahead and we'll see if he comes in. All right.
Am I in yet?
You're
You
in.
are.
Wonderful. How about I'm into the 21st century.
Welcome.
Your
Thank
Honor,
you.
this is Sue Christner. I was just going to go over with the commissioners our over expenditure, and then I'll give you an opportunity to comment.
If I could just add, the reason for Judge Jones joining is that he is the judge on the panel of the courts that handles the majority, if not all, of the juvenile cases. And so that's the
And
interest.
if you're upset with anybody, you need to be upset with me because I'm the person that directs where people go. So I'm here. I tried to be there in person to get you folks to be able to give me a stern lecture in person, but I guess we're not doing that. They wouldn't let me into your offices, so at least I managed to somehow click on.
Thank you, Your Honor. So juvenile probation was overspent by $484,147. This was actually a very unique situation because this particular fiscal year, we actually placed institutionally fewer kids at about almost 1,000 less days of care. But what was unique about this year was that we had 554 days of service in the state secure unit, which is our highest level of care, and it's also our most expensive level of care. Youth in traditional residential services generally average per diems of, I'd say it's about $250 per day. In fiscal year 1920, we actually had a total of 5 youth who had needs and community safety issues that required placement in the state secure system. Those 554 days of care were at an average of $550 per day. The demographics of those youth, they were generally violent youth, history of mental health, significant trauma. We had 2 violent sex offenders right now who are in the state secure system who could be best described as predatory. They have offended other youth, attacked staff in lower levels of care, and now we're in the highest level of care in the state system. We actually had 1 female who had admissions in the state system twice this fiscal year, which was extremely unusual. And then we also have another youth who entered the state system because he had absconded from lower levels of care and then actually became quite violent in some higher levels of care, to where our only option for safety reasons was to move him to our state secure system. I'm definitely proud of the fact that we've reduced our overall days of care in an institutional setting. I'm very proud of the fact that in the last 5 years, we've actually, for fiscal year 1920, we've placed fewer kids than we have over the past 5 years. And had it not been for the youth that we were presented with this fiscal year, I do not believe that we would have been in that overspent area. However, with those youth, the 2 things that are most important to us are one is meeting the intensive needs of those youth, but the second is obviously the protection of the community and the inability to manage those youth in community-based settings or in open residential programs. So that's very reflective of the overspent amounts for fiscal year 1920. And I'll allow Judge Jones to comment further if he so chooses.
I don't know how much you would like to hear from me. Basically, I think that pretty much says it all. We have fewer days in placement, which is a goal for all of us. And unfortunately, we have some children who we couldn't go to a lower level of care. I believe the one individual that Ms. Christner referenced that was the female who was in state care twice, we actually worked through Children's Services to find a lesser placement for her, and we're able to do that. So if you have any questions for me or for Ms. Christner, you can throw them out. Yes.
Yeah, Your Honor and Commissioner, if it's all right, I want to make sure I understand the bottom line as one of the fiscal watchdogs. We were overspent by $484,147 in one area and underspent by $300,000 in another area. Does that mean the county has to fork out $184,147? Or is there also an appeal process to recoup that money from the state?
Commissioner Litz, if I can jump in, this is Erin. Their budget is part of our budget, so that would be part of the appeal that I will be filing.
Okay, thank you very much for the clarification.
I had a question. Bill, do you have any questions?
No, I'm good.
Just going forward, any of these folks aging out of your, care, and then in terms of projecting future costs in line with, this overage, can you give us any feel for how this looks going forward?
Commissioner Phillips, I can tell you that the 4 youth who are presently in the state system, we have one who should age out this fiscal year. The other 3 will not. Our goal is to stabilize their behavior so that we can move them to a lower level of care. I can tell you that as we saw our state placements rising, Judge Jones and I sat down and looked at what we could do here within the community and with kids coming out of care to try to really boost our community-based options for kids as best we could. I can tell you that right now we are in the final planning stages for a juvenile treatment court. So we've been very proactive in trying to continue to look at opportunities we have to keep kids successful at home. However, those efforts will likely not impact those 4 kids that are in state secure care. However, we do review their cases on a monthly basis. If at any point they stabilize to the point to be dropped down to a lower level of care, we're able to do that through a simple court order to the judge that he has always been gracious to sign and assist us in moving kids out of the state system when it is safe to do so.
Yeah, and I appreciate, all of your work in this area. It's very difficult, obviously, and just trying to figure out, what the look ahead is and how we can, fund it. That was the purpose of my question. Thank you.
Thank you all for protecting our children.
Thank you. We ask that you approve the closure of our fiscal year 2019-2020.
Motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the report as presented by the team from Children and Youth and Judge Jones.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor in a second to approve the closure of the fiscal year 2019-2020. Any further conversation or comment? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. All right, next.
Thank you. Next up, we have our implementation budget for fiscal year 2020-2021. So our budget that was certified and approved last year is $10,158,089 with a county share of $2,263,438. The state certified allocation amount was $191,385 less than the amount requested. Our projected implementation budget is $10,295,849 due to children and youth increases in court-ordered placements and in-home services due to drug dependency and child abuse concerns. In addition to this increase is attributed to juvenile probation's carryover of increased community residential placements, which utilizes our Act 148 money more quickly. Our county share based on these projections will be $2,251,231. The county share will actually decrease by $12,207 due to increased Title IV funds and program maintenance. We ask that you approve fiscal year 2021's implementation budget.
I'll make a motion to approve and adopt the implementation budget for years 2021.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. Any further comment or question? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? So moved.
Thank you. Next up, we have our fiscal year 2021-2022 needs-based budget. So our request for the needs-based budget is $10,260,275, which is a $35,574 decrease from fiscal year 2021. Projected implementation budget. And this is due to us moving evidence-based programs from needs-based to our grants portion, which will allow for a higher state reimbursement rate. So we recognized when doing the budget that a lot of the programs that we currently used could be funded under our grants. So by moving that from needs-based to grants, we get in some programs a 95% state reimbursement for those programs. So we felt that that would be more cost effective to move them to the grants moving forward. The projected county share for our needs-based budget will be $2,243,344, which is a $7,887 decrease from fiscal year 2021 projected county share. As we will receive increased Title IV funds. We ask that you approve our needs-based budget for 21-22.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2021-22 needs-based budget as presented.
And I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor to approve the fiscal year 2021 needs-based budget. Any comment or question?
Chairman, Mr. Chairman, you do have a raised hand from Laura LeBeau of Forever Media, but I don't know if you want to wait for after the motion. That's fine too. Just want to make you aware.
All right, well, consider the motion right now. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. And now we'll accept Ms. LeBeau.
Thank you very much, commissioners. And I just, a quick question for Aaron. In ballpark figures, I was just curious, these youth that have been remanded to the state secured juvenile residential place, what generally is the price per child that it costs to house them there for the county?
That would actually be a question for probation, but I believe they did say it was about $550 a day.
Okay. All right. I was just curious. Thank you.
Okay, and then finally, we have our fourth quarter invoices for fiscal year 2019-2020 in the total amount of $1,641,199.45. And we ask that you approve our fourth quarter invoices.
I make a motion to approve the fourth quarter invoices for fiscal year 2021.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor to pay the bills. Any comment or question on the motion? If not, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. So moved.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Aaron.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Judge.
Okay, then up next, we have Mr. Larry Taylor from the Greater Lebanon Refuse Authority. And I think he has two others, if you want to bring Larry in a while.
Larry Taylor, I think I remember that name somewhere.
Yeah, name from the past.
Not James Knight, though, I don't think.
That is about precisely what it's going to become, a name from the past.
Well, whatever island you're joining us from, we welcome you.
Give us a moment here until we get the attendees. So undo. Go ahead, Larry.
Skip, the new executive director, and Amy Mazzella DeBosco are also listening in from the office.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm actually down at another remote location.
Okay.
Being non-essential personnel.
Okay, hold on just a moment. Okay, if Amy or Skip are in the audience as attendees, if they could do raised hand. I see an Amy, but I'm not sure if it's the same Amy.
Is it Amy Maureen? Yeah.
There it is. Okay, bring Amy in. There she is.
There she is. Yep.
Is Skip with you, Amy, or is he dialing in differently?
She's on mute, Jamie.
Yeah, I see that.
There you go.
Amy, is Skip with you?
Morning, Amy. Is Skip in attendance with you? Well, let's
She
move
might not
on.
have her volume up. I don't know.
Evidently can't hear us.
All right. Well, Larry, are you okay to proceed?
Yes.
Yes, we are watching together in the chat box.
All right.
On the humorous side, you put all this effort into proofreading a document, and you turn it over to brief the county commissioners, and you say, "Oh, that skipped by me." But right on the front page where it says 2020, that is actually going to say September 2020 when it's get issued. I found a couple of other little ones that I'll correct that really don't make any difference. Today's goal is to get the commissioners to agree that the county solid waste management plan is complete and ready to go. Get signatures on the submission page on Roman numeral 7. Get your review of the forward letter to the municipalities and your signatures on that letter. And then I will send it to the municipalities with a note that 30 days from that date, I'll forward it on to the state. In the past, we've done a municipal notification process and asked for actual resolutions, as well as held a municipal officials briefing. In light of everything that's going on in this time, and since it is a non-substantial process that does not require that, we've elected to simply go with a notification of the municipalities and then ask for their comments, which we'll include when we send it forward. Generally, I've kept you posted on progress if we've gone along. I've sent you the advisory committee minutes as well as summary. And in your document, the executive summary pretty well covers the meat of the process and the conclusions of the finding. In general, Lebanon County's population has been continuing at a steady rate. Interestingly enough, the residential waste coming into the facility has remained almost constant. But if you look at pages 20 and 21, you'll see that the waste streams have in fact shifted over time. There's been a rise both in commercial and construction waste. There's been a rise in residual waste. New to the document this year, I also added a figure 6 of the total residual waste originating from the county. Of course, since we are not a permitted residual waste facility, we can only accept some types of residual waste. Other residual waste goes other places. The quantity, though, I think is significant because what those three waste streams show is growth within the county, one way or another. The GLRA has maintained a fairly constant tip fee, although we did raise it this year, noting that there have been some increases in costs, most notably in capping. Recycling has stayed reasonably constant and even increased a little bit. I think it's worth noting that approximately 86% of Lebanon County's population is served by recycling of some sort. In the overall preparation of the plan, we considered material recycling facilities as originally recommended. We considered trucking waste to out-of-county incinerators as was originally recommended. And we considered recovering old landfill space in bulk, but determined that that was not going to work just because of the proximity of neighbors to the landfill. And we concluded that landfill disposal remained the most cost-effective choice for the next 10-year period. There is, of course, a gap between the requirements of Act 101 for 10 years of assured disposal capacity and the DEP regulations that say, well, you can't submit an application for new disposal capacity unless you have less than 5 years of life left. So we currently have less than 5 years of life. Our permit application is in and being considered. We submitted it as close to that 5-year requirement as possible. I feel reasonably confident that that permit expansion will be approved. I think the bottom line, though, is that the Greater Lebanon Refuse Authority remains committed to the contract with the county to arrange for disposal capacity one way or another. If you look at page 85 in your document, you'll see where there's a great deal of recycling going on in the county that we're thankful does not need to come to the GLRA because we find other homes for it. Our perspective is that recycling, despite the issues with finding markets for them, is continuing well within the county, and that Lebanon County as a whole seems to want to recycle. With that, do you have any questions for me or for us?
Commissioners, any questions? Jamie?
Yeah, I know that you're looking at things on a more of a long range perspective, but what kinds of changes, if any, have you seen during the last 6 months with people's habits changing, a lot more people being at home? Obviously, construction for a while was shut down. So the material flow is probably different. Have you seen a difference or a reduction in the tonnage coming to the facility?
In the last 6 months since the start of the year, yes, there has been a reduction in tonnage. It's, as you look at the history of the previous year, though, between the pipelines and the construction going on in the county, there was a substantial increase in the tonnage. So while we have seen a decrease, there have been changes in flow that we're not sure whether they're indicative of a real trend or whether it's just a temporary or a return to a reasonable trend. If Skip is there, he may be able to add something more to that. I stopped going into the office sometime in March and turned it over to him as the new executive director in January. Skip, are you there?
I know they were having some audio difficulties. Amy had chatted on the side here.
Larry, this is Joellen. Could you verbalize how long this will extend the life of the landfill once this is approved and constructed?
Yes. There's a chart in the document. I'll page through and find it quick. But in general, once we get approval, we're looking at 2043 for the life of the facility. It's on page 54.
I think
2040.
we only have an executive summary here. That's why I was having trouble putting my fingers on it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had the whole document.
Not in front of me.
But yes, there is an expansion plan that covers the new cells that have been designed. Now, of course, there's always, as you plan for this, you plan for the maximum permitted tonnage on a daily basis. And our hope is we don't get that maximum permitted tonnage. But if we get the maximum permitted tonnage on a daily basis, we're looking at a life that runs up through 2040.
Go ahead. I think we've got Skip and Amy on audio right now.
Yeah, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Our tonnage did decrease. We saw a decrease in construction demolition waste, a reduction in residual waste, which is essentially industrial waste, and we saw a reduction in commercial waste starting in mid-March with the shutdowns. We are working right now with our insurance company for a loss of revenue, and it looks to me like our loss of revenue request is going to be for about $250,000 associated with that, the direct drop in tonnage for those three waste types. Surprisingly, or maybe not so surprisingly, we did also see an increase in residential waste. People were staying home and generating more waste at home. I hope that addresses your question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Litz, is your question addressed, I believe?
Yes, thank you. I do appreciate that. I think that's an important number just because people need to know what the longevity of our landfill is. And I think another 20 to 23 years is an admirable accomplishment. So thank you, Larry, for keeping on this.
You're welcome. And I have to thank Bob Phillips especially because he asked a question about a year and a half ago on the status of burning ordinances within the county. And as I looked at things, and I actually added that summary to this report, because what we've generally found is that while there is not a county-wide ordinance, there of course are state regulations, and more municipalities are enacting ordinances. And even those that don't, once we explain to them that you just can't tell people you can burn anything, you have to point out to them that there are state laws. We've seen an impact on open burning within the county. So thank you, Bob.
You're welcome. Anything else to add, Larry or Amy or Skip?
No, not from my perspective.
Okay.
All right. You ready for the motion, Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm pleased to make a motion to approve the municipal waste plan for 2020 to 2030 as presented by Larry Taylor.
I'll second the motion. Did you want to say 2030 or 2043 or?
No, the plan is to 2030.
Okay.
Okay. We have a motion and a second on the floor, and I just want to add, this day we have Bob Carnes notifying us of his retirement. Larry, of course, is in the process, and the institutional knowledge drain is noticed heavily today, and we appreciate the very high level of professional leadership, Larry, that you've given our landfill and the GLRA and GRLA in particular over these years. Thank you very much. And with that, if there's any other comment, I'll accept that. If not, All in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? So moved. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry.
All right. Next on the agenda is Michael Anderson. I believe he is on board.
Is Melissa Newmaster also with voter registration? Oops, no. Michael, do you have your volume turned up?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Now we can. Yeah.
All right. Sorry about that. Good morning.
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 Michael, would you please introduce yourself and then you may proceed then.
Sure. Michael Anderson, Chief Clerk. Did we want to start with the board?
Do you have the election board or you're talking about the Board of Commissioners?
Yeah, I have election board stuff first, and then I do have a couple things for the commissioners, just FYI stuff, but I need a vote on the election board.
All right, well then I will open the meeting for the Board of Elections.
Okay, Michael Anderson, Chief Clerk, thank you. Today, I am not here to ask for money, so that's a good thing, right? I am here to ask for permission to or approval of the accessible polling place accessibility report, which we do annually, and I'm happy to announce that we have all 60 of our polling locations here in Lebanon County are accessible, and I ask that the commissioners please sign that summary sheet. I did email you the detail. If you do have any questions or want that printed, I can give that to you. It's very detail oriented as far as everything that we need to do as far as surveys and information regarding accessibility. But I'll leave it at just if you have questions specifically, you can ask me and ask for your approval for that accessibility report to give the Department of State.
Are there any questions for Michael?
I'd make a motion to approve the polling place accessibility report.
All right,
Second the motion.
All right.
Yes, sir.
I have a motion and a second to approve the polling place accessibility report as presented. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? It's approved. Anything else for the Board of Elections?
The rest of what I have for you is more just informational for either the commissioners or the board.
All right. Well, then I'll accept a motion to adjourn the Board of Elections.
I'll move to adjourn.
Second.
All right. We stand adjourned.
All right, then we'll reconvene our regular meeting. And Michael, you want to wrap it up with your comments?
Sure. So just a couple of things. I did want to let the board know that we did receive the final applications for the GEMS contract. If you remember, that is the 60% reimbursement from the Department from the state for the purchase of our voting equipment. And Commissioner Phillips did sign that for me. That will give us reimbursement of $516,839.45, which is going to be coming to us for the purchase of that voting equipment that we did the end of last year. Our total expenditures for that was $861,399.09. So what we were able to do is there was some equipment that became eligible for that. So we made sure that we got everything in that grant that we could possibly get and get reimbursed for. So hopefully that money will be coming to the county soon. So I did want to present that, a little bit of good news that I'm actually going to be bringing money in instead of asking for money.
So noted.
The last thing I have is this just came to my attention here in the last day or so. and that is that the Center for Tech and Civic Life, which is a nonprofit organization, has a grant program available to all election offices. The Secretary of State for the Commonwealth made us aware of this. I did want to see if the board, the commission board, would allow or would want me to apply for this grant. This is a grant that was made possible due to a $250 million contribution from Mark Zuckerberg and Priscilla Chang, which I guess are the Facebook people, but they made it through this nonprofit organization. There is a lot of different things that would be eligible if we did apply for this grant, and the minimum amount that we would receive would be $5,000. So I just wanted to bring that attention to the commissioners. I'm more than happy to apply for that grant, but I wanted to get your approval and your thoughts before I did that. And there is a lot of detail with it, and I can provide as much as you would like on it. I did go to the website. I did print out a lot of information, a lot of questions about how it works, who's eligible. We are indeed eligible for it. So I just wanted to bring that before the board to see if that is a grant money that you would like me to apply for.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I would make a motion to authorize our Director of Elections to apply for this grant.
And I would certainly second that motion. We can relieve a burden on the taxpayers if we were able to get a grant for the county.
Michael, just of the timing of this.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Please remind me of the timing of this. When is it due to be filed?
Sure. So it's expenditures that cover 2020 expenditures. My understanding is that we can start applying for this grant starting on September 7th. And I was trying to find the ending period because it's just, like I said, it's just opening up. I think we just would have to apply by the end of the year. But we have, as you know, many expenditures that would qualify for this because it deals with COVID response, training, expanding voter education and outreach, recruitment, trainings, in-person voting and support by mail. So, you know, we already have enough that we would be able to apply for this grant as of now.
My only reason for the question is you're entering into probably the busiest and most high stakes time of your career, and didn't know if with the guarantee of a $5,000 minimum grant, if it's worth the distraction. That was my only reason for asking.
I appreciate that, but you know, I'm all for trying to relieve the taxpayers of the many expenditures that my department has had to endure with this election year, and I will take the time to do it if you're agreeable.
Okay.
But I appreciate your thoughts on that, Commissioner.
Thank you, Michael. That's very dedicated of you.
Any other comments regarding the motion? If not, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Go get them. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Have a good day.
You too. A little behind schedule, but hopefully Nicole has, yes, she's in the queue. Morning, Nicole.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Morning.
Good morning. Sorry for being a little behind schedule, but we appreciate you hanging in. Thank you.
Sure, no problem. I am Nicole Eisenhart from the DA's office. I have grant proposal for the Rasa Bojo, which will be cycle 2021 through the end of 2022.
Would you mind, just for the sake of the audience, explaining those acronyms?
Sure. Rasa and Bojo are, now you're going to make me try to remember what these mean.
Victims of juvenile offenders.
Well, that one's Bojo, that one's easy.
Yeah, the rest is.
I'll be honest, it's a victim service grant. I don't know what that acronym means. I apologize.
That's all right. I'm sorry.
Yep. Both of them are victim service grants. RASA covers procedural services for victims of adult crimes. Bojo covers both procedural and in-person services for victims of juvenile crimes. So it's 2/3 of our grant combo for the victim service grant. The RASA grant for the adult crimes is, for the 2-year period, a total of $172,776. VOJO for the 2-year period is $62,870 for a total of $235,646. It's basically the same amount per year with that total. So the proposal that we have, as always, the bulk goes to salaries and benefits. For RASA, for the total 2-year period, it's $105,000, $623 for salaries, $60,000, $456 for benefits, $694 for training, because grant-funded personnel are required every year to engage in a certain amount of hours of training per the grant requirements. And then $6,003 for supplies. The big purchases, and this will be listed in both RASA and VOJO, would be for a shredder, because we're in need of a new shredder for the victim witness department, as well as a laptop for them to use while they're here, but also helps to enable people that need to work remotely. So that is what's budgeted in RASA. For VOJO, we only have one staff person that is paid for under VOJO. The total salaries for this 2-year period is $48,737. Benefits would be $10,678. The travel would be $580 for the 2 years, and supplies and expenses $2,875. Again, it includes a portion of the shredder and laptop, as well as the normal expenses that we have.
I'll make a motion to approve the RASA and VOJO grants in a total of $235,646.
I'll second the motion.
It's a motion and a second on the floor, and just to make a distinction, these are calendar years, not fiscal. So because we were dealing with some fiscal budgets earlier. Cover 21. Any other comments regarding the motion? These are all big help to our general budget. Thank you. I'm sorry, it's 21-22. All in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. So moved.
Thank you.
All right, Nicole.
Thank you, Nicole.
Have a good day.
You too.
Okay, ready for me?
Yes, sir.
All right, first item I have to present to you are the Marcellus Shale Act 13 fund grant applications, and that, as you'll, I think, recall, and for the public's consumption, these are funds that are available to each county through fees that are collected on natural gas wells, tapping fees, etc. They are then put together by DEP and then dispersed among the counties to be used for grants for environmental programs, outdoor recreation, all sorts of categories of use that are allowable. And you had solicited grants. You've been doing these every other year in order to allow the fund to grow a bit in between years, because initially there just simply wasn't enough to be able to do a lot of complete awards of the grant requests. And so to leave it ride a year and do it every other seems to have helped. And that way you have the ability to award grants in the whole dollar amounts that are requested rather than fractions of them. So I've got a list of 13 of them at this point to present to you. I hope you've had a chance to review these. We've had these for several months, and unfortunately through the shutdown period, these lingered a bit while we were busy with many other things. So, and I don't believe there was any ability for them to really take action on these projects. So, so I'm here today to present these to you for your consideration. The first one is a basketball court rehabilitation for the South 6th Street Playground Association, and they want to rebuild the courts and some of the area around those courts at the playground. Conservation District is looking for funding for the Envirothon for the 2021-22 Envirothon for high school, middle school, and elementary school in the amount of $21,105. North Lebanon Township would like to construct a new open air pavilion at Lenny Lenape Park in North Lebanon Township, and it's asking for a grant of $25,000 toward that. The Clarence Shock Memorial Park at Governor Dick would like to make some improvements to their ADA accessible walkway, including the construction of a viewing platform roof and staining the current platform, that open platform that exists, for $7,500. West Lebanon Township Recreational Center would like to construct a walking path through their park to the newly proposed sidewalk on Lehman Street and allow for future expansion of that walking path for $7,500. Lebanon Valley Conservancy would like to create and design construction documents needed to build the Liberty Trail Park. So this is a design concept and plan request for $15,500. Friends of the Coleman Memorial Park would like to do park beautification, which is to remove some tree stumps from that are still around on the land, and also plant some new trees in place of the ones taken down, for $2,810. Pennsylvania Chautauqua Foundation would like to correct some stormwater runoff at their Soldiers Field and Timber Road Park. And this impacts Soldiers Field and the adjacent woodlands. This is for $9,270. South Lebanon Township would like to conduct some park improvement, and they propose to add some new playground equipment, bleachers, and a security system, $14,000. Jackson Township would like some funding for the Owl Creek Restoration Project, and it proposes to address 879 lineal feet of stream bank restoration with the installation of 1 acre of a riparian buffer area for $25,000. North Cornwall Township, the Lower Snitz Creek Restoration Project proposes 400 lineal feet of stream bank restoration on the Lower Snitz Creek, $25,000. Lebanon County Historical Society, the Crawl Barn Phase 5 would like to add to the museum displays and construct some display cabinets and things to display their historical artifacts for $25,000. And Jonestown Borough at the George H. Kaufman Park would like to relocate various recreation elements within the park for $5,000.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve those Marcellus Shale grants as presented.
I'll second the motion, and I'd especially like to say I appreciate the stream bank restoration projects. I think that's a really good thing for our clean water.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the Marcellus Shale grant applications as presented. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, so moved. All right.
Right, I've got some liquid fuel applications for county aid, 2 of them. Lebanon Township, they would like to utilize their grant for the 2020 line painting program in West Lebanon. Total cost of that is $3,100. Their allocation by formula would be $781. And Union Township would like to do some culvert paving on Newens Lane. Cost is $3,900, and the allocation toward that would be $3,099.
I'll make a motion to approve the liquid fuels request.
Second motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve liquid fuels allocations to West Lebanon Township and Union Townships. Comment or question, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign, so moved.
Okay, I have exemption requests for disabled veterans from real estate taxes. Carol Worth of Water Street, Lebanon, and John Emmerich of Ashton Drive, Lebanon, having met all the requirements and seeking your approval.
I'll make a motion to approve the veterans real estate tax exemption request.
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded that we approve those tax exemption, real estate tax exemptions. Any comment or question regarding the motion? Hearing none in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, so moved.
All right, I have a hotel tax grant fund application for a tourism grant from the Lebanon Valley Conservancy to be utilized toward their 3rd annual Tower to Town 10-miler race, the Governor Dick Nature Center and surrounding trails. There was a narrative with that. I don't know if you got a chance to look over that narrative. This does benefit the Conservancy and does attract people from outside of the area. So in terms of tourism and the purpose of these grants, I am missing, 2 things I'm missing is the total project cost on it. They're requesting $2,500, but I don't have a total project cost or a verification of the 25% required match. So I do have an email into Laurie, the director, to see if I can get that information. So if you would like to hold off until the 17th of September on this one, the event is actually in October, October 4th, Sunday, October 4th. If you'd like to hold off for that information, or alternatively, if you'd like to approve the grant of $2,500 pending that information comes in and meets the requirement of the 25% match.
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to approve the grant pending verification of the 25% match required.
Second that motion.
That's a good pathway. Thank you. Because of the timing, I appreciate that, Bill. Any comment or question regarding the motion? If not, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. So moved.
Mr. Chairman, if I could take a moment to just talk about the CARES Act and the CARES funding and what we're up to here at the county with some of that funding. As many people know, and hopefully are starting to hear the advertisements and outreach that's going on, there are $7.2 million in grant funds available through the CARES Act for small businesses, nonprofits, and tourism-related businesses. And that first window of application for those grants began on Tuesday, September 1st. Everything an applicant would need to know should be available on LebanonCountyCares.com. Seems to be going smoothly so far. We do have a few dozen applications in, so and we've been answering some questions. There's an email for information for anyone who might have a question that's not answered on the frequently asked question attachment. We are going to, this afternoon and this evening, we're going to have 2 webinars for any applicants who might not have gotten their question answered through the FAQ or through the ability to email us a question, or just maybe want to sit in and make sure they've got it all covered. But the application is fairly simple. We just felt we ought to do a bit more outreach and give a couple of live webinars and the opportunity to ask questions. So those are at 3 o'clock this afternoon and 6 p.m. this evening. And those are on the county. There's a link to it on the county's website. I believe also on LebanonCountyCares.com. So again, this is the first round, September 1st through September 15th. Then those awards will be announced on or before September 30th. And then we're going to take a little bit of a 2-week period to sort of tweak the process in case there's anything that we discovered that wasn't working well or was working better than expected and we didn't to do more of. We're going to do another round then on October 15th through October 30th, with those awards announced November 15th. And then we'll regroup and see if there are funds left over, how to go about dealing with that, and hopefully be able to help as many businesses and nonprofits as possible. So again, I would direct them to LebanonCountyCares.com, and hopefully those questions are going to be answered in the FAQ. And if not, then we'll be happy to do it through the email or through the webinar. I see Laura LeBeau has a hand raised probably on that. Mr. Chairman, is that all right to acknowledge?
Yeah, I just wanted to add to your comments there. You mentioned 7.2, so that we know we have 10 million on the one side of the ledger. So there's some monies that are not included in the applications that are now out there. And also the 2.8 million that we have for the mask program that we need to launch. We'll have some timing announcements on that forthcoming, within the next foreseeable time that we can get underway with that, so the public will know what direction we're taking.
Yeah, I was going to segue to that after this, but just to mention the additional above the 7.2 million, there is assistance there for municipalities, the local economic development corporation. And there are a couple of different categories that are between the 7.2 and the $10 million that are going to be utilized directly in other ways. So I don't know if Laura still has her question or not. Yeah.
Yeah, we can bring Laura in.
Well, thank you, Chairman Commissioner Phillips. You stole my thunder a little bit because I did want to ask about the mask campaign. A lot of people have been asking me, what's the deal with that aspect of this agreement? And I don't know if Jamie or any of you have any more expanded commentary on that particular aspect of the agreement.
Yeah, as most people know, the money was provided after the settlement with the governor's office was agreed to, and the funds only came to the county August 21st. So we have a pretty compressed timeline here compared to what other counties have who got their money back in mid-July. So the first priority was to get the grants program going as quickly as we possibly could, because there was a lot of clamoring for that help as well. So we wanted to get that launched, and I'm pretty proud of the group that has contributed to that, from the chamber and the EDC and the United Way and Visit Lebanon Valley, that we really got that from the time the money came in about 2 weeks, got that up on a website, and Barb Kaufman, I want to mention her too for helping out tremendously. So we were pretty happy to get that up as fast as we did. So now it's the move on to the next item, which is the mask campaign. And that is, as many know, a $2.8 million allocation. It's a tremendous amount of money for the period of time available. It must all be utilized by December 30th. So that is next. I know there are a lot of ideas out there, a lot of ideas. I think all the commissioners are getting emails. I'm getting emails. A lot of vendors who are interested in being a part of that. A lot of people who have ideas on how that can be rolled out, and all of those will be considered. At this point, the commissioners have fielded some interest from some agencies who would like to be a big part of that, and I don't know actually whether today that's something you wanted to tackle or not. We certainly can, or if there's some more
Has
information.
Dave reviewed and commented?
I've not gotten back on the contract language on the one proposal, but if it's something you want to address today, it can be, anything you do can be pending that review, as you've often done. But I will certainly leave that up to the board today. Move on to the next few days to still consider what you have in hand, or if you want to move forward.
I'm prepared to entertain a motion if there would be one, subject to the review of our solicitor, considering the timeliness of the issue.
I would certainly entertain a motion. I did review the two proposals, and I want to say thank you to both of the local vendors who took the time to prepare and share their thoughts. They both have good points, but I think the one is really prepared to hit the ground running with more staff, and has a national presence, really, working with 5 Fortune 500 companies and things of that nature. I think that we would get excellent service. I do have a few questions about language in the contract. So my motion is to go with fresh, creative, providing that our solicitor reviews the commentary in the contract and make sure that it is to our best interest.
Well, I can't second that motion as it was presented because I have concerns other than the language in the contract. My concern is that I don't think we should hand this total ball of wax to one provider without some indication of, or at least make part of the motion that there will be involvement of other agencies and providers of PR services in the county.
Well, sir, under section 1 services,
I read
in
that,
H,
ma'am.
it
I did
says
read
that determine all marketing and advertising
Commissioner
assignments.
Litz, he's acknowledging that he read that. He just was trying to finish his comments. So please just give him another second or two.
I thought he was done. I apologize.
I need to be assured as to how that's going to happen, because I think the other proposal certainly has merit and is also a company that has done significant work for the Chamber of Commerce and Visit Lebanon Valley here in the county. And I certainly don't want to see anyone slighted. The worst thing that we can do is to be eager to get this money spent and have a lot of unhappy businesses and folks within the county. So that's my goal, is to not have that happen.
All right, Commissioner Litz, would you like to add to what you were saying earlier? Go ahead.
Yes, I apologize. I didn't realize he wasn't done. Under services, section 1, and it would be, I guess, I can't say bullet point, but it's H, as in Harry. It says that Fresh Creative will participate in and determine all marketing and advertising services assignments. And with the meeting with Fresh Creative, it was spelled out that we expect to have wide participation by vendors throughout Lebanon County, that this is not just for one entity, but we need a quarterback to coordinate that for us. And that is how I see Fresh Creative servicing us. And like I say, there are a lot of good outlines in here that go to that. And that was just the one that stuck out that I can pull out right now. And I'm very comfortable with the firm. They have, I think, close to 13 employees. The other firm, I think, would do a good job, but they only have 2 people at the helm, and that is the extent of their, they would have to drop all their other clients, just concentrate on us. That's not fair to their other clients. And so I felt more comfortable because if I understood it correctly, 3 of the employees at Fresh Creative will be designated to work with Lebanon County exclusively. And so I think we can hit the ground running and get the money into the hands of our local businesses. And there are many local businesses, 30 to 50 local businesses that provide services that can be utilized by us and by Fresh Creative. So I think it would give a boost to stimulate their businesses. They're not asking for a handout, they're asking for a hand up. They will provide services in exchange for the money they receive.
And Bill, I share your concern that this thing is for in as many businesses as possible throughout the county that relate to this mission that we've been charged with. So I agree, and in my understanding and in reading the offering from Fresh Creative, I really feel comfortable that that's all in there, but I would also assure you that I wouldn't proceed with them unless that were all part of it. So I don't know if that helps you with your motion or seconding it, but that's.
Well, you know, Commissioner Litz said a lot of things that I agree with, although I'm not interested in managing any of the businesses in Lebanon County, as she indicates that she is, looking out for one of the providers' customers and so on. I don't think that's our role. However, I would be willing to entertain the motion if she would include some of the things that she said and some of the things that are in the agreement, so that we can have those on record, so that if there are any glitches down the road and we are slighting people that should be involved in this campaign, we have it on the record that our motion included the protection of other providers in the county.
Okay.
I have no problem with amending my motion to include my comments. Dawn, I know that's a lot of extra work for you, but I'm comfortable with what I proposed. And, you know, I don't know, the first part of when you started to talk, I didn't quite understand that because I was proposing to include businesses, and I'm hoping that that's going to happen.
Yeah, I think we can capture that from what you said, Commissioner Litz. Certainly can go back and look at the video of this meeting if we need to even get some of that detail. But if I, well, you don't have a second, so I don't want to, Mr. Chairman.
Well,
I'll wait.
and the other thing, I think, I could be wrong on this, but I think Commissioner Litz failed to mention pending review by council.
And I made that up front, that was the first thing I said when I made the main motion.
Okay. Well,
all right, I'll second the motion with the understanding that I will see it at the the conclusion of this meeting or tomorrow or something.
The second tender, I do anticipate will get some of that work as well. So they will not be totally cut out. It's just who's going to quarterback it. And I think this company's better postured to do the quarterbacking.
yeah, Commissioner, we already got the second, so don't, we're good.
Yeah, don't talk me out of it.
Jamie,
if I could, I've had conversations with both of the interested parties here, and both equally understand thoroughly and completely that the wish of the board is to include as many possible agencies, vendors, ancillary services, anything and anyone who might be able to play a role and it be a legitimate contribution to this campaign. It's I know that the way the CARES settlement was written, it didn't describe it this way, but it in a way can behave in somewhat of a stimulus manner by providing business to the local vendors, and it was described as kind of a three-tier approach. The agencies, any agency available in the county that wants to be a part of this will be considered and utilized to whatever extent possible. Second tier being the vendors, and that means the printers, the publications, the broadcast media, and all of those sorts of vendors that exist out there will be utilized to greatest extent possible. And then lastly, anyone who maybe isn't typically involved in a PR campaign but has an idea and a way. If there's a theater company that wants to do a video, for example, to be part of the mass campaign and has an idea or a concept for production, then that's something that can also be included. So I do think this is going to cast a very broad net, and that has been part of the conversations that I've had, and I think that's very clearly understood.
And Jamie, if I may tag onto that, I did have an inquiry from downtown as well, and I said that everything will have to have the same branding and color scheme and things of that nature, so it pulls together through the theme, and they understood that. So, a videographer can be assigned to do a program for them, and that we could do with, as you say, different theaters, whether it's the community theater or Mount Gretna Theater or any other theater that we have in Lebanon County. We want to support the arts with this as well.
That was just one example. There are a lot of ideas and examples out there that people are throwing around, and this would be the if you approve this motion, Fresh Creative would then become, you know, the shortstop to kind of field all of that and determine how it can be utilized, and also handing off some of the placement responsibilities and some of the placement duties with certain types of media. So maybe an agency that handles billboard, maybe an agency that handles print, you know, and so on. I'm getting a little beyond my comfort zone because I'm not in that business, but again, I can't emphasize enough. It's clearly understood that that's the expectation.
And that's a big piece, but the other piece, we want every penny possible to be spent in Lebanon County through those businesses, not going outside. You know, if this can, the impact can be huge in terms of a stimulus, Jamie, as you mentioned, but also, you know, just giving a good shot in the arm to, you know, as you said, players that maybe wouldn't be in those positions otherwise, but they'll fit this, what we're trying to accomplish here through this grant. So, all right, we have a motion and a second. We will get the wording of that so that it's acceptable and understood, but all three of us are in the same mindset as far as what we want this to accomplish across the board to as many businesses as possible related to promoting mask wearing, and we all, that's understood in this motion and second, so we want to make sure the wording is correct. But with that said, all in favor, saying aye.
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 Opposed? So moved.
Laura LeBeau is still with us as a participant. I know she originally raised her hand before we segued into this. Laura, do you still have a question on that?
No.
Oh.
No,
okay.
no, my question was answered.
Okay.
And then some.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. And this is a huge step forward for us to get that, also that running parallel with the other grants that are being promoted out there. So thank you.
I have just one more small thing, Mr. Chairman, if I could.
Yeah, go ahead.
Since we, you know, said farewells to Larry Taylor as he finished up his last project with the Refuse Authority, and the warden's announcement for retirement was read today. Nora Shelley from the Daily News is actually on board in the attendees list here, and Nora just informed me the other day that she is, this is her last week with the Daily News. She's going to a newspaper in Montana.
Wow.
Wow.
Hey, Nora. Oh, my. Best of all. Oh, yeah. Best wishes to you, but we're going to miss you. You do a swell job.
Yeah, she was a good journalist in the true sense of the word. She was very respectful. Obviously, I didn't always want to answer some of the questions, but you have to. But so, you know, when they're asking the tough questions, they're doing their job. But she has her hand raised now, so maybe she wants to jump in.
Nora, go ahead.
Nora, you're live.
Getting an echo. I don't know if she's having audio.
Maybe her volume's down.
Sorry, can you hear me okay?
Now we can.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Well, yeah, just wanted to say thank you. Definitely been an interesting year covering Lebanon County. But yeah, thanks for taking my calls, and wishing everyone all the best.
Good luck to you, Nora. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Good luck. Thank you. All right, Jamie, anything else?
Nope, that would be all. Again, reminder, we've got the webinars at 3 and 6 o'clock on LebanonCountyCares.com, and you have an afternoon of assessment appeals, I believe.
Joy.
I believe, yeah.
1:30.
Move to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
All right. Thank you all for all your input and support, and we stand adjourned. Thank you.
All right.
I don't know how to end this.
So did you read that shit?
Hold on, let's go. I think.
You get it.